Let me tell you something that's going to make you uncomfortable. You are being underpaid right now, not by a little, by a lot. And not because you're not good enough, not because you don't work hard enough, not because you haven't earned it. You're underpaid because someone smarter than you understands a game you don't even know you're playing. Think about it. You show up early. You stay late. You take on more than your job description ever asked for. And every year, you wait for that raise, that recognition, that moment where your effort finally gets matched with reward. And every year, it comes back smaller than you hoped. 3%, 5% if you're lucky, just enough to keep you from leaving, never enough to actually change your life. Have you ever wondered why? Why, the harder you work, the further the finish line seems to move? Here's the answer nobody wants to give you. The people who pay you are not playing a fairness game. They're playing a psychology game. And they're winning because you don't even know the rules. Machiavelli wrote that men are so simple and so ruled by their immediate needs that a skilled manipulator will always find people willing to be deceived. That's not an insult. That's a warning. Because the moment you understand the games being played on you, they stop working. The spell only holds while you can't see it. So today, I'm going to show you the 5 psychological mind games the wealthy and the powerful use to keep you underpaid. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to flip each one, so the same psychology that was draining you starts working for you. By the end of this, you won't see your salary the same way again. You won't see your boss the same way. And you definitely won't see yourself the same way. Let me show you how the game really works. I learned all of this the hard way. For years, I was the loyal one, the dependable one, the person who could be counted on to never make trouble and always deliver. I thought that was the path. Be valuable, be quiet, and the rewards will come. They didn't. I watched people with half my skill negotiate twice my pay. I watched louder, bolder, less qualified people get promoted past me. And I told myself they were just lucky, or political, or fake, but they weren't. They understood something I didn't. They understood that money doesn't follow effort. Money follows leverage. And leverage is psychological before it's ever financial. The day I understood that was the day I stopped being a worker and started being a player. So let's get into it. Mind game number 1, the loyalty trap. This is the first and most powerful illusion because it doesn't feel like a trap at all. It feels like a virtue. You've been taught your whole life that loyalty is rewarded. Stay with the company. Be devoted. Prove yourself over time, and the company will take care of you. Here's the brutal truth. Companies do not reward loyalty. They exploit it. Look at the numbers honestly. The person who stays in the same job for 10 years collecting their small annual raise almost always earns less than the person who switches companies every few years, sometimes far less. Why? Because once you're loyal, you're predictable. And once you're predictable, you're cheap. They know you won't leave. They know you'll accept the small raise. They know your loyalty has removed your leverage. Loyalty, from their side of the table, is just a discount you give them for free. Machiavelli warned about exactly this. He said it is much safer to be feared than loved, because love is held by a chain of obligation that men break the moment it serves them. Your employer's loyalty to you breaks the instant it's inconvenient. But yours is supposed to be permanent. That's not a relationship. That's a leash. So here's how you flip it. Make your loyalty conditional, and make that condition clear. Your loyalty is to your own growth first, and to anyone who fuels that growth second. The moment a company stops investing in you, your obligation to them ends. This doesn't mean job hop recklessly. It means you stop treating staying as the safe default. You make them earn your loyalty every single year, the same way you have to earn your paycheck. Become valuable, but never become predictable. Because the moment they're certain they can't lose you, they stop trying to keep you, which leads directly into the second game. And this one is even more subtle. Mind game number 2, the vague promise. You know this one, you've lived it. Let's revisit this next quarter. There's a lot of potential for growth here. We really see a future for you. When the timing is right, we'll take care of you. Notice something about all of these, none of them are real. They're not commitments, they're not numbers, they're not dates. They're fog. Beautiful, comforting fog, designed to keep you working at full effort for a reward that may never arrive. This is one of the oldest control tactics in existence. Dangle the carrot, keep it just out of reach, and the donkey keeps walking forever. The vague promise works because hope is cheaper than money. It costs them nothing to imply your reward is coming. And as long as you believe it, you'll keep delivering at a discount. Paying today's effort against tomorrow's maybe. Machiavelli understood the power of the unfulfilled promise better than anyone. He taught that a clever leader knows how to keep men in suspense, because a man waiting for a reward works harder than a man who already has it. You've been kept in suspense for years. Here's how you flip it. You convert fog into numbers. The next time someone offers you a vague promise, you respond with specifics, not aggressively, calmly. I appreciate that. Let's define it. What exactly needs to happen by what date for that raise or that promotion to become real? Can we put that in writing? Watch what happens. The person who meant it will respect you and give you a clear answer. The person who was playing you will suddenly get uncomfortable because you just turned their free tool into an actual commitment. Vague promises only control people who accept them. The moment you demand specifics, the game collapses. But specifics alone won't save you if you've fallen for the third trick, and almost everyone has. Mind game number 3, the anchor. This is the most mathematically powerful game on the list, and it happens before you even open your mouth. When it's time to discuss money, whoever speaks first sets the anchor. They name a number, and from that moment on, the entire negotiation revolves around it. Every counteroffer, every adjustment, every compromise is measured against that first number, and the rich know this, so they make sure they always anchor first. They name a salary range. They tell you what the budget allows. They mention what others in your position earn. And suddenly, that number becomes the ceiling in your mind, when it should have been their floor. Here's the psychology. The human brain latches onto the first number it hears and treats it as reality, even when it's completely arbitrary. If they say the role pays 60,000, your brain starts negotiating up from 60%, grateful for anything above it. You never even consider that the role might have been worth 100. They didn't tell you the truth. They set the anchor. Machiavelli wrote that whoever controls the frame controls the outcome. The anchor is the frame. Whoever sets it controls the whole conversation, while the other person thinks they're negotiating freely. So here's how you flip it. You anchor first, always. Before they can name a number, you name yours, and you name it high, backed by your value, your results, your market worth. Now the entire negotiation revolves around your number. They're adjusting down from your high anchor instead of you adjusting up from their low one. And if they manage to anchor first with a number that's too low, you don't accept the frame, you reject it openly. That's well below the market rate for this value. Let's talk about what this role is actually worth. You just broke their anchor and reset the frame. Whoever names the number controls the room. Make sure it's you. But even a perfect anchor can be undone by the fourth game, which attacks something deeper than your wallet. Mind game number 4, the scarcity illusion. This one works on your fear, and fear is the easiest emotion in the world to manipulate. We're lucky to even be hiring right now. There are 100 people who'd love this job. The market is tough out there. Be grateful you have a position at all. Do you feel what that does? It shrinks you. It makes you feel replaceable, disposable, lucky just to be in the room. And a person who feels lucky to be there will never negotiate hard. They'll accept less and call it gratitude. This is the scarcity illusion. They make opportunity feel rare and your position feel fragile, so you cling to whatever they offer instead of demanding what you deserve. But look closely, because here's what they're hiding. If you were actually replaceable, they wouldn't be trying so hard to make you feel that way. The effort to convince you that you're disposable is itself proof that you're not. Replacing a skilled person is expensive, slow, and risky. They know that. They just don't want you to know it. Scarcity is almost always manufactured. The powerful create the feeling of scarcity to suppress your sense of your own value. Machiavelli taught that perception is everything, and that men are ruled far more by what they believe than by what is true. They want you to believe you're scarce in value and they're scarce in opportunity. Both are lies designed to lower your price. So here's how you flip it. You build real options, and you let those options give you peace. The single most powerful thing in any negotiation is the genuine ability to walk away. Not a bluff. Real alternatives. Another offer. Savings that buy you time. Skills that the market actually wants. When you have options, scarcity stops working on you completely. You stop feeling lucky to be there and start evaluating whether they're lucky to have you. The person who can walk away can never be underpaid. Because the moment they sense you don't need them, the entire power balance shifts to your side. Abundance is leverage. Build it before you ever sit down at the table. And that brings us to the final game, the one that ties all the others together. Mind game number 5, the identity cage. This is the deepest game of all, because it doesn't just affect your salary, it affects who you believe you are. The wealthy and the powerful understand something profound. If they can control how you see yourself, they never have to control your paycheck. You'll cap it for them, so they give you a title and a story. You're a team player. You're our reliable one. You're not really the money-focused type, you're here for the mission. You're an employee, not an entrepreneur. And slowly, you accept these labels. You build them into your identity. And once a label is part of your identity, you defend it. You live inside it. You stop reaching for anything that contradicts it. The loyal worker doesn't negotiate hard because that's not who he is. The humble team player doesn't ask for more because that would feel arrogant. The person who believes they're just an employee never builds assets, never starts the side income, never reaches for ownership, because that's not their identity. The cage isn't your salary. The cage is the story you've accepted about yourself. Machiavelli understood that the most complete form of control is when the controlled person polices themselves. You don't need a guard if the prisoner believes the walls are who he is. So here's how you flip it, and this is the most important flip of all. You take back authorship of your own identity. You stop letting other people tell you who you are financially. You decide it. You are not the loyal, underpaid worker. You are not just an employee. You are not the humble one who doesn't care about money. Those were labels handed to you to keep you cheap. Starting today, you choose a new identity. The kind of person who owns assets. The kind of person who negotiates without apology. The kind of person who builds income that doesn't depend on anyone's permission. The kind of person who knows their worth and refuses to discount it. Because here's the truth that runs underneath all 5 games. Every single one of them works only on a person who doesn't know who they are. The loyalty trap, the vague promise, the anchor, the scarcity, the cage. They all depend on you accepting someone else's definition of your value. The moment you define it yourself, the games stop working, all of them, at once. Now pause for a second. Don't think about your salary. Think about which of these 5 games has been played on you the longest. The loyalty trap, the vague promise, the anchor, the scarcity illusion, the identity cage. Put it into 1 or 2 words in your mind. Because naming it is how you break it. The game only works in the dark. You just turned on the light. The rich were never smarter than you. They just understood the psychology of value while you were taught the morality of effort. You were told to work hard and wait. They were taught to control the frame and act. That ends today. Flip the loyalty trap by making yourself valuable but never predictable. Flip the vague promise by turning fog into numbers. Flip the anchor by naming your number first. Flip the scarcity illusion by building real options, and flip the identity cage by becoming the author of who you are. Most people will hear all of this and go right back to waiting for a raise that was never really coming. A few will start playing the game on purpose, from today. If you're one of the few, then don't stop here. What we covered today is only the surface. There are deeper layers to power, psychology, and wealth, the strategies most people will never be ready to hear. That's exactly what every video on this channel is built for. No fluff, no noise, just strategy. So subscribe, sharpen your mind, increase your value, and separate yourself from the crowd. Most people will watch this and move on. A few will stay and change. Decide which one you are.